The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Wine Vault Radio with Jason Bryant from winevaulttv.com.
It has been a couple of weeks since we've seen Jason in the Kiwi studio here for some wine tastings on a Friday. Morning to you, Jason.
Bula Wammo, Bula?
So yes, well that gives a wee hint to where you've been. A nice Pacific Island paradise holiday.
You know, it was a struggle getting up this morning.
Oh, when I say paradise, isn't it?
It was paradise.
Military dictatorship?
No, but we were on an island removed from that, so we had our own little sovereignty.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Wammo Island.
Did you become the mayor? Did you foursquare it when you
I
were
did,
there?
and I became the mayor.
Immediately.
Yeah. 2 check-ins.
As soon as you arrive, I'm the mayor.
Yeah. You fly in by helicopter, which is rather decadent and luxurious,
wow.
But the island just has 30 little huts on it, and it's quite a big island. It's got its own hill, and then it's also got its own little island off the island.
Oh,
that you can,
an island.
An island that you take a kind of a speedboat. That was kind of very 70s of me, kind of Miami Vice speedboat across, and
with the soundtrack in your head.
Yeah, that's what it was. And they park you up over there for the day, and they give you a picnic. I mean, don't assume that it's a picnic in our terms, but this is kind of like with some tables and chairs.
Oh, wow.
And some champagne,
napkins
and cutlery.
and a servant.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not picnic in the traditional sense, but a picnic all the same. Very luxurious. And
that's a colonial picnic.
Absolutely. James, Jeeves, please set up the table we're just about to have a picnic out of Africa.
What are all these flies?
Have you got any repellent? But it was very much like that. The resort, I've got to say, has the highest cuisine in Fiji. And
really good.
It was superb. And the wines, despite kind of like being 29 degrees, almost day and night, behaved really well.
Oh, no doubt. You had an ice bucket.
We had a big carver bowl. And put some ice in that and then stuck them, just so the bottles of the bottles were just touching the ice, so that it didn't chill it too much.
Did you partake in the carver?
Yeah, we had to, as part of the Fijian night.
Yeah.
Dirty, muddy stuff.
Yeah.
Don't get involved.
No.
Stay off. Just say no, kids.
Did you wake up under a palm tree in your underwear?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
it's all right then.
They made white man carver.
Must have been weak carver.
Yeah, it was. These guys, they won't tolerate this. We'll just water it down.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was.
And so it was a bit of a wine exploration.
It was. We went over there with Craigie Range to do their prestige release. Got to say, the La Sol, which is a straight Syrah, is fantastic. It's
even at 29 degrees.
Even at 29 degrees, didn't suffer at all. The aromatics just were a bit more lifted, and
so the wine was at room temperature. It wasn't.
We did put it on ice.
You did really? So
yeah.
Was that a strange thing to see a bottle of red wine on ice?
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah,
but it felt like you needed to do it. And there was Bob Campbell, myself, and Steve Smith. So I felt like the minnow.
Those are wine luminaries, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're both masters of wine, which is a really prestigious title. Only 250 or 70 in the world.
Goodness.
So it's and I think we've got about 8 in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Which is a high proportion for the population.
Were they like, who's this scallywag at the table?
I had to introduce myself. Everybody else knew the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who are you? Oh, are you the waiter?
Have you not seen Wine Vault TV? Do you not know who I am?
Yeah, I quite tempted to use that line, but they clearly didn't. So I just put that one back in the suitcase and bring it out later.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Oh, it sounds really good. Now, and you came back just in time for the news that the New Zealand wine harvest this year is down, which some commentators are saying is great because we've had an oversupply. What's your take on it?
Down 7% from last year, which, when you put it into context, 08 and 09 were massive vintages. So down just 7% is not a lot.
Which created a glut on the market, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it made the wine cheaper here in New Zealand and created a problem, though, for the winemakers.
And growers.
Growers.
Because the growers were getting kind of a third of what they were normally getting.
Yeah.
So that really squeezes a few people.
And essentially devalued our premium product.
Yeah. Overseas, yeah. I mean, they were selling Sauvignon Blanc in the supermarkets in UK for £3.99, which
Bargain.
it used to be £7
Yeah.
minimum. But now, my personal feeling is that they're going to drink £3.99 Sauvignon, which is going to be the dregs of our Sauvignon.
Mm.
And if that's their first New Zealand wine experience and it's not very good, they're not going to come back to brand New Zealand.
Okay.
So, if it had been 7% down on 2007 figures, I would have applauded that, because that's where we really need to be. This was 266,000 tonnes, and 07 was 200,000 tonnes. So if we'd come back from that, the wine lake that we've got here would have dried up almost overnight, just like that.
Yeah.
And then we could have been a bit more sensible about the pricing and structure. But there's no regulation.
So the pain is still yet to come, even, really.
Possibly, yeah.
Because there's going to be a hangover effect, because that wine is still out there, and there's, it's still sitting on shelves, it's still sitting in warehouses.
It's still sitting in warehouses or wineries, but a lot of the excess juice has been bought up by supermarkets and stuff like that. So for over the next 2 to 3 years, I expect we to see those prices start to rise again.
Wasn't the answer just to clean skin a whole lot of it, so that brands weren't not tied to the cheaper wine?
But if they're already labelled and you're cancelling your export orders, or they're cancelling them, then you're in a really kind of rock and a hard place about what to do.
I heard one person, I think it was from the Wine Growers Association yesterday, saying that the risk is that winemakers will try and cut costs in order to match the cheap product, and actually with a cheap product in the bottle as well.
That's inevitable.
That's only bad. That can only be bad for brand New Zealand.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and that's where I don't want us to go. I'm going to segue into this and
I'll open up. What have we got? A Wild Rock.
Wild Rock. Yeah.
What is it?
It's a well, I thought, because it was really chilly when I got this. This is a problem with
an issue with the screw top. Can't quite get it off. It's unusual. Normally that would be a cork problem.
It's a Merlot Malbec, and this is a craggy wine as well. It's a sister label called Wild Rock. There. And so I thought that they've got to say that 07 as well is one of the best vintages that Hawke's Bay has ever seen. So a little sniffy sniff.
Cheers. Before the recession hit before we lost our...
Yeah, so all those overseas markets kind of collapsed, and we were discussing yesterday that I would really like to see people put ingredients on their wine labels, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into wine that people don't realise.
Egg being one of them.
Yeah, egg, copper, just
whatever's,
sulfur dioxide,
just whatever's
acid.
laying around the winery at the time. I chuck it in. Old boot, chuck that in there.
Strawberries in there. We go. That's how you get your flavour.
Yeah.
But no, acids and coppers, sulfur dioxide. People think that it's quite a pure, because it comes from a grape. It's quite just pressed, fermented bottle, but with that cutting costs idea, that they just try to make as much wine as possible for the least amount of effort, and to make it taste okay, they add all sorts of stuff. So if you put the ingredients, it would possibly, I'm not saying it would, because you're always going to get some people that won't add them, will possibly clean up the industry a bit and make our wines better.
Honesty will set you free, Jason Bryant.
Is that Sting sung about that, didn't he?
I think so.
What'd you get off the nose?
A little bit spicy, but peppery.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, it's dark fruit.
I can tell even before I take a sip of this one that it's probably going to be a little bit tanniny, but grippy.
That would be the Malbec. You tend to get a bit of a grip from the Malbec.
A bit of plum going on.
I get a bit of plum, strawberry, almost a bit of sandalwood.
It's very dry.
Yeah, I like the dryness. But I've got to say, and this price-wise,
How much?
$11.
Bargain.
Bargain. Yeah.
Wild Rock Merlot Malbec.
Yeah, 07, and it's in Woolworths right now. I'll go and get yourself a whole load of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you give it?
86.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Good price point.
Absolutely.
Great red wine. Match it with?
Anything that used to live once and have a pulse.
Good-o. Thanks very much, Jason Bryant. WineVaultTV.com.
And another wine discovery.
And a new website on the way. We'll talk about that in the future. Twitter.com/The Wine Vault. Here's C90. This is